Thank you for listening to Crazy Conversations with Miss Kim on IntellectualRadio.com. I'm your host, Beverly Watkins Allman, and I'm in the building with my amazing executive producer and my wifey for lifey, Sumner Allman. Thank you for coming.
You're welcome. Good evening.
Good evening. Also, we have an amazing engineer tonight. We have Mr. Earl here with us. And again, we're coming back from not a Mother's Day weekend, but we coming back from a Mother's Day month. Forget the weekend. And we hope that you all enjoyed your Mother's Day weekend again. But hands down, this was the absolute best Mother's Day ever. And it was nothing to do with the gifts because for some reason this year, Sumner decided to gift me after all the festivities, after all the planned events. I got my gift like 11 o'clock that night. I was so mad. I promise you, I was going to be calling in for a crazy conversation. When I say I had an attitude, I was around so many people that was opening up their gifts on Sunday. And I was hoping that nobody asked me what I got. But again, at 11 o'clock, they could hear me down hosted because I was screaming. Again, I appreciate the Mother's Day time just for letting me know what I do matters and it's appreciated. And for me to let you know that what you do matters. And I appreciate you because I, when you have had it both ways, you never want to go back. You know what I'm saying? When you go from a no help to so much help, it's like mind blowing. So I hope that I even it out with what we supply as mothers. I think that we do a good job as mothers. We are not the same. And I think by us not being the same makes it so much more
Mhm.
exciting, you know? So, we've went through our mothering journey together for almost 10 years, so that matters. And we having a hard time to get back to structure since we've been having so much fun, right? And all we can say is it's Mother's Day, right, coming up. We can't even say that no more. So that's what made me so happy to be able to see you differently this Mother's Day. Differently this Mother's Day. Mr. Earl, differently this Mother's Day. She was different because this Mother's Day, she had a birth certificate in her name. So I didn't think that that mattered, but just to see the joy of adoption being final, having her first child, and being able to witness all of this greatness that things people do on Mother's Day. Not that you were not receiving them then, but as you can see, y'all went all the way out this year for Mother's Day. So it looked different, but it feel the same. No matter how you become a mother. I have mothered so many kids out there and I'm still waiting on my check. I promise you I'm waiting on my check. So yeah, I said, do not forget about Miss Kim. Don't have me on that porch on the ice cream cone and y'all riding by. Uh-uh. So with that, I had to just ask you, did you mind just describing your journey to where you were this weekend?
It was different. It was real different because I thought about my mom. Once you losing a mom, Mother's Day get harder. But by me having older siblings, and by me being a baby, it's very interesting. It was very different. I don't know. I just feel different this year. I feel like more stronger than what I was. I feel more confident. And when you just believe, and when you just like I had to go through the struggle of like loving yourself. And Mother's Day is very important, especially when you're a mother already. You know what I'm saying? I'm a mother every day,
Yeah.
but having a birth certificate with my name on for the first time, it's a big difference. But me being a mother to kids too, that's me. I enjoy being a mom,
What a crazy
especially a
part.
boy mom. I enjoy being a
What a
mom. I
cra-
love.
the crazy part about it, you know what I was thinking about? I was thinking about the city of Chicago and that new exemption, that new dependent you got. You got a
It.
dependent now.
Yeah. See, that's the point. See, when you a mother,
Yes.
I'm a mom.
You've
So
been you've been carrying teeth for 10 years.
so when
So
you so
you
when you so when you're a mom, you just enjoy Mother's Day every day. I was just happy just to see another Mother's Day. I was happy to enjoy the Mother's Day with a birth certificate with my name on it.
yes.
But at the end of the day,
You
I'm
just
always a
want
mom.
somebody to take something out your check.
No,
Tighten your, you
it's
know,
no, it's
kid.
not even. See,
Woo.
it's not even about money because I get love.
Yeah.
I get
Yeah,
love.
that
I
little
show
boy.
it.
He's so. Ooh.
Yeah, I show love when I get love to
I'm
my
saying
kids.
you give them so much.
Yeah, I'm a mom. I get them attention.
And you give them the love, you
Yes,
give them
and
the
I don't play
time,
with them,
and you give them the Jordans,
and
and
I
you
don't
give them the
and I
Jordans,
don't play with them,
and you stand in line for them,
and I don't play with them.
and you don't play with them.
No, I
That's
don't.
it. And that's how it's supposed to be. So, what was your best part of this month before we get into our crazy conversation? Because our crazy conversation tonight is called Toxic at the Time Clock: Surviving Negative Co-Workers Without Losing Yourself. So we're going to talk about some of these negative co-workers after we hear from Mama Sam. Mama Sam going to tell us about what she enjoyed the most about our
We get
Mother's Day journey since we've been celebrating since May 1st.
we we have proms. We been spending time with family.
Yes.
See, I'm a family person. I'm old school. I love family and I cherish family. And I give
Yes.
the respect to both of my parents. They always told us no matter what you go through, no matter who you date, no matter if you fight your family, no matter what. But at the end of the day, before them friends fold, your family might fold, but they ain't gonna be going nowhere. So I'm a family person. I'm just teaching my kids it's all about family.
Mhm. And you're right. And so, with that, you mentioned some things that you wanted to do differently than this Mother's Day. You say, next year I'm going. What are you going to do next year? What are you planning?
See, last year I was planning on hosting or going out of town, doing something different every year, just doing something spontaneous. Come
Okay.
Mother's Day period, and like I said, one thing I love about it, my niece, my nieces took us to brunch on Mother's Day with the sisters, all of us.
Yes.
So that's one thing I can say about Mother's Day. My niece and my nephew gave us transportation.
Yes. We
So
had a
this Mother's
great,
Day was different this year. I didn't have to drive. My family pitch in, our nieces and nephews, and our kids pitch in. So
yes.
it was no complaints.
It was nice to have black car service on a Sunday, because it was just really nice. So I have to shout out to the Almonds family, Pierre and Doris. They did their thing this weekend, helping all of us enjoy our Mother's Day. And we got a whole lot of different things that happened during Mother's Day. We got the ultimate good gift from our niece and nephew, but again, we just so happy. And again, I'm gonna keep saying it to Quail and Brittany, just how happy I am and just how happy they made me for this Mother's Day. And I ain't gonna say nothing but the double trouble. But again, tonight we are talking about co-workers, the workplace. It doesn't matter where you work. It doesn't matter where you work. Everyone has that coworker that we are about to have a conversation about. Hopefully, we can help you kick the door in tonight when you get to work or first thing in the morning. I'm going to tell you the crazy thing to do. But again, before we dive into the reality of dealing with negative coworkers, the ones who drain your energy, sabotage everything at the job, and turn every break room and smoke break into a complaining session. Yes, we are going to explore all of that tonight. We're going to expose and explore that on Crazy Conversations. Again, the signs of a toxic coworker. It's not always obvious. Sometimes you cannot tell who the toxic person is at work because again, people scared that they going to get let go if they snitch. So again, it the toxic person is the person that's up under everybody. I'm just speaking from experience, but a toxic person, they come across as being that church going, oh, I love you. You can trust me with anything. I'm praying and all of this. That's what they say. And then, like I said, who's doing all the reporting back? Who's starting all the mess? They get to know everybody. They don't fall out with nobody until the mess hit the fan. So again, those signs of that toxic coworker that we know that you have and how the negative spreads in the workplace. Those are the type of cultures that these type of co-workers make. And again, they make it so hard for people to even come to work and trust anybody. Like you come to work and you sit by yourself, you do your work, and then you sit by yourself because you can't trust people. If you hear what they doing, then of course you're not gonna open up. You're gonna stay to yourself. But again, it's sometimes it's hard to be at work and not interact, but it got to be a way. It got to be it has to be some routines and some strategies to protect your peace and your professionalism, because I know I try so hard to be professional, but sometimes coworkers take you there. Coworkers will take you there over the smallest things. So, how is it a way that you can you handle that, or do you have any issues or no?
It's no what it's no issue, but everywhere you go is toxicness, especially at
Mhm.
the workplace. See, we have an understanding with your coworkers, and we have to realize they just coworkers. They don't go home with us. But some of us do become family, and some of us do become friends. But I just accept people how they are, and
Mhm.
I just tell them today, not today.
Right.
See, I get to know my coworkers because that's what they are, and they know already with my looks. With if they start early in the morning, I tell them to go back to their car and
Mhm.
start out over just because of it's too early and people you never know what other people are going through when they get here. But it's
Mhm.
toxic coworkers everywhere.
Leave it at home.
Yeah,
But a
leave it
lot
at
of
home.
people can't do that. That's hard for a lot of people. So we're gonna talk about some of the questions that was sent in to ask Miss Kim. Have I ever experienced in a workplace? So, Miss Kim, have you ever dreaded going to work because of a coworker? If so, they want to know what happened. Um, I used to dread going to work with a coworker because I don't like nobody begging for my lunch.
How long ago was that?
That had to be probably like in the early 2000s, maybe. Yeah, I even though I am in a authority figure at work, a supervisor, management, whatever you want to call it, I still like to have a lunch break. I deserve that. So I don't want anybody asking for half of my sandwich. And I just kept going through that at work. So it was like when I knew that person was on the schedule, I didn't even want to open the daycare that day because I knew that they gonna ask me for half my sandwich. And I just was like, why? Why? You talk about all weekend long about where you went to eat, what you did, how you turned up. But why you asking for half of my sandwich? You see what I'm saying? So I dreaded opening those doors on those scheduled days. And I'm sorry, God, but I don't
Yes.
want nobody asking me for my
Be
sandwich
sorry.
after I have opened up at 5 a.m. Nobody wanted that shift. I've been working that 5 a.m. shift for a long
But you're
time.
supposed to share definitely with food.
Okay.
See, I share food
Okay.
certain days. No
Okay.
complaints. I ain't represent wrong. Some days I do.
I feel you.
It's a lot of days you don't,
I feel you. No, I wasn't sharing my sandwich, and I said I dreaded opening those doors about it because when I have done what I needed to do with the children, I deserve a good lunch like everybody else, like the lunch that I'm providing. And sometimes it's no leftovers. It's no leftovers. So I had to, and it wasn't just me. It was like everybody that had to take their lunch break was experiencing the same thing. It wasn't even the coworker lunchtime, but you still in somebody else lunchtime asking for half of their sandwich. So it wasn't just me, it was an ongoing problem.
A sandwich.
Anything you had. It's just that I like sandwiches and soup. I would eat sandwich and soup or in a salad every single day.
So
That's all I wanted.
was this person toxic? Like how was they toxic? Did they come normal? How was they toxic?
That's toxic
See,
if you
so
asking everybody for
for
something
food,
and you are getting a paycheck and you
they
got
just begging.
groceries.
They a
So
beggar.
that wasn't
They a
going.
taker instead
Thank
of
you.
giver.
And then everybody else in the workplace was bringing stuff. We was cooking. You know, they would cook. We would eat sometimes. Nobody had to pack lunch or whatever. But the same people should not have to keep going to buy stuff to bring in the workplace and everybody eat off of it. And it's some that don't
No,
ever bring nothing. That ain't fair.
so
So
they
I would tell people, look, don't bring nothing else. Don't bring nothing else. You see what I'm saying? So don't bring nothing else. Let's give this person an opportunity. Let's all just don't bring anything. And we come and we see if anybody's going to offer us anything. Nope, we all starved and we all was skinny. So again, we we are not we are not exempt from this in the workplace. So I know those lunches that I pack you, I know they be looking and I know they be smelling that food. So nobody don't ask for your lunch.
of course.
Oh, okay.
They all every day. They
Yeah,
do.
no, and you
And my
share it.
breakfast.
And you share it.
You know what I do? I'm not even gonna tell the story. If I don't share with the coworker, I split half of it and give it to I give it to one of my guys who walk, one of my little homeless people.
Hmm.
But I do because you pack me enough and you pack me a lot.
Okay. Well, the next question is Miss Kim, what's the pettiest thing a coworker ever did that actually got under your skin? This just happened. A coworker asked me to babysit their car and didn't leave the car keys, and I had an emergency. So I had already said leave the keys, and they purposely did not leave the keys because they vehicle was wax, and I could not touch it, but I had to watch it. So again, that was the pettiest thing I think a coworker did to me because I can't think back then to really. I don't have those problems now because I
Bliss.
don't,
It's a
I
blessing.
don't do a lot of
Interaction.
interaction. I have a director for that. I don't have to really do that, but I love just knowing that everybody has a perfect lunch. So sometimes when they wonder why Miss Kim coming here and bring lunch for everybody, because I always think back on what I had to go through and what those coworkers had to go through when they couldn't enjoy their lunches, and that didn't make sense. And I wonder, I understand why Miss Serene used to go get her little meals and put them in the freezer, and it was just enough for her. And she kept telling me to go and get me some, and I never did. And again, she didn't allow nobody to beg her for her lunch. And you know what I'm saying? And it was just, Miss Johnson, Miss Annie, they was giving, they was cooking, bringing stuff. It was always helpful. But when you have that one coworker that always want to eat off your plate, you can't do that. You can't do that. Miss Addie Mae bring in bags and bags and bags and bags of stuff. Everybody cannot eat out your bag. Bring something sometime and just offer, even if I would say no. But again, offer sometime. Just bring something. Don't eat off everybody's desk and then you go in the bathroom stall and eat your snacks. But you at everybody cubicle getting what they got.
So have you guys ever had a conversation with this person, with the taker?
I don't have to work with that person anymore, so
No,
it's
back
okay.
no, no. I'm just saying, have you guys had the conversation? See, that's why
Yeah,
another
it
thing in
was heated
workplace
discussions that we all had to have.
with the person,
Yeah,
but they wasn't accepting to it.
they came right back and did the same thing and say, "Don't tell nobody I asked you for some or your sandwich." So that wasn't helping, you know.
Uh,
So again, we have to draw some type of boundaries in the workplace, especially when we know, that we work with those type
I
of
agree.
people, you know? So I don't know. They said, Miss Kim, have you ever noticed how one person can shift the entire energy of a team? Yeah. That one bad attitude, that one funky frown on their face in a meeting. Oh, I just had this to happen. I promise you, when the energy shift, I'm out because I can't deal with the negativity. I don't want to sit in the presence of it. And sometimes it's very hard in the job that we do to deal with someone with a bad disposition. Because I don't want nobody with a bad disposition like that taking care of my kids. So again, if you don't know how to practice safe self-control, then what can you give to early education? I'm sorry. So I think differently. I know that one negative person can shift things. We live in a world of monkey see, monkey do. That one outbreak and that one outburst, you arguing and turning up with somebody every day. If one person is able to be negative in front of the entire team.
But sometimes it be the superior too, though.
Oh,
Sometimes you have to follow. It's like a bridge.
the top be horrible.
So that's what I'm saying. So with coworkers, when it's a superior, then you have coworkers. You never know how the coworkers feel about the superior. Because 9 out of 10, it's not really against the coworkers. Cause they coworkers. It's always have to do with the top. They always say if the top is good, the whole outline's gonna be good. So if you
Mhm.
write need at the top, you got to write complete need at the bottom. So like with the toxicness, sometimes it's cut from home and they bring it to work. But that's why you have to have a communication skills with them. You got to communicate with them. You don't have to be buddies, friends. But like with the people I work with, I've been with the city for almost 30 years.
Yeah.
So I'm always the same. They already know, well, Miss Sam go check you. You know what I'm saying? She go check you smiling.
Well, I have another question that they want me to answer too. And they said, which a few more, which is, can I share a time that I had to professionally confront a coworker and they want to know the outcome? And that would be when I actually had to um, have this conversation about adults. And I had to let the person know, the coworker, about we are not going to share our food. And the food for the children is totally off limits. If we can go out and we can order a 20-piece for Harold's or Home of the Hoagie, all those places we ate. That Miss Kim stayed eating something different every day if I wanted to. I like my soup and salad, but if somebody walk in the door with a Home of the Hoagie steak, I want a piece. So I had no intention sometime of ever having fast food. But if they walk past me, I want it. I'm greedy. I know. I'm that's what keeps me fat. I love that because I'm going to eat what I want to eat. So they want to know, what boundaries did I set or wish that I had set with the negative coworker? Well, the boundaries were just to say no. And I blamed myself because so many times I said yes when I knew that it was getting way out of control, especially when it was every lunch break. It was, if it was just straight at 12 o'clock, Miss Kim lunch break. hey, I come to work to get half of her sandwich every day because I know she gonna eat the same thing and I like what she have, blah, blah, blah. This is why I blamed myself for that. I dropped the ball on that because I gave out way too many half sandwiches, way too many.
It's a
And
blessing.
so many coworkers gave a couple spoonfuls of whatever it was that they cooked at home that night that they brought for their lunches, which that wasn't fair, which we had situations where coworkers would put their things in the refrigerator. They had a full-size refrigerator just for staff to put their stuff in, and people's stuff coming up missing. We knew who it was because it wasn't but one person showing up hungry. So who you think? You see what I'm saying? So again, we knew who to go to. Food missing, we knew who to go to. So again, the outcome was we eventually had to part ways because again, aggravation in the workplace is not acceptable, and especially with the type of work that I do. I need to be focused. My mind frame needs to be on the safety, the health, and the love and the well-being of those children. So I cannot be distracted with, so much other nonsense. So, they want to know what advice would I give someone currently stuck working with a toxic team member. See, the only thing that I can say is first of all, keep praying because a lot of places that I have had to do consulting work or transportation, lots of places that is affiliated with my job that I've had to walk over the threshold. And some of the times I would have parents that was coming, and before I walk in and accept a child, I had to walk back out, walk back over that threshold and say my no weapons formed against me. I promise you, because people come to work to get under your skin. People come to work to dump their problems on you. And again, it's so many. In the next part of the conversation that I kind of combined with someone else's, and we're going to get to that second part. But again, you have to break those negative co-working bonds because again, when you get fed up, everybody at work get turned up. So again, sometimes it's just peaceful to just come to work, do what you got to do, and go on home. Don't take these people, places, and things home with you. You can't do it because you'll come home mad as hell. If I had to bring everything that my coworkers poured into me, not what I got from the job. People forget about that and they're focused on the coworkers. So, um, that experience, it impacted my job performance once because I was malnutrition, I was hungry. And it was like I had so much other things to do and jumping on and off of that 15 passenger back then, over 12, 15 times a day, maybe. And I was hungry and I was irritable because sometimes I couldn't stop and get anything. So by the time I got my next meal, it was my dinner. So again, a lot of days I accommodated somebody else's dietary needs instead of my own.
So it was just one toxic person in your workplace?
That was unbearable. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
No, it's there's if it's one, it's two. If it's two, it's three. If they toxic, they toxic. If they're unbearable or not, though they toxic. People see you as Miss Kim, and people used to you just saying yes and
Okay.
just giving. So that's what, like, if they did the other people. So that's what I'm saying. Did they have kids? What their social life was about? What was their personal life about? Because that's serious. If you asking for food every day, are you doing it on purpose? Are you trying to irritate me? So that's something that you have to study. You have to study that person. You have to sit back as a person sometimes just to study, know how they do others.
See, my whole point
See,
with
I be
that,
deep, right? That's what I'm
you go
saying.
too deep.
But
That's what
I'm
I'm
just
saying.
saying, you
Stop
got to
going that deep because I didn't want to talk about it.
no.
But the thing of it is that when I say that things was just way too bad, it got so bad to the point that I had to, me and Miss Sadie Mae, we was sitting there, we was adding up. And I did this with a lot of other coworkers as well, that I was adding up like how much money that person saved a month because we were providing all of the meals. So that person didn't have to say I got to spend all this money on grocery like we was talking about. We was always trying to cut coupons and trying to save a couple bucks cuz we had to buy so much in bulk and just buy so much. But this person, I'll never go to the grocery store. I bet. I bet. Because again, if we supplying all of the meals at work, then again, if you come in the morning and you asking for a bite of my sausage biscuit or somebody else's sausage biscuit, you want half of theirs. And then in lunch, you catching me, you getting my half. And then, all the little meals in between. So yeah, it was a problem. And I tried to handle it professionally. And I wanted the staff to handle it
Yeah, of
professionally
course.
because some
Everyone
of
should.
them
Yes,
had bonds
of course.
or were friends. But again, I didn't want that to stop. I just wanted them to stop asking me for my sandwich. If the co-workers had enough or had more than enough to continue to do it, then that was perfectly up to them. But again, when it's reported to me,
Of course. Yeah.
then that's when I got to come to the round table. And again, like I said, you went deep. But I was just adding it up. Like, this person better not ever come in here and say they ain't got no money. Because again, you saving X amount of dollars on food. Because we going in here grocery shopping on our lunch break just for little things we want to cook like tacos and Omar's doing tacos, we having jerk salads, we having all of that. Why was it a reason that this person never contribute anything, not even the sodas, not even bring the pops?
Because sometimes it was okay just to say not today. A lot
Just
of
turn it down
a
once.
lot of time when people a lot of time well see I gave a lot of people when they did ask for real though I tell them not today. No, I'm just
Earl,
saying.
I'm trying. I'm
I'm just
trying
saying.
today.
I'm just saying not today. You know what I'm saying? I do tell people not today.
But you had set up here and told me in front of Earl that you give some of my lunch away because I don't
I
pack
do,
it for
but
them.
listen, I do give some of your lunch
I
away.
pack that with love.
Listen,
Do you read the message that I write
listen,
on there?
and I'm for it love. Once you give it, you for it. You pay it for it, right? If you giving
So
me love,
what's on there you forwarded that
I'm
you
for
don't
it.
like that
Listen,
you want to forward
it's
it?
not about don't like anything.
Okay.
When you forward the meal to me and you forward with love, God said, okay, you got to pay it forward. I was given something, so I have to give it to someone else. So what's good? But they didn't make it a habit because once again, they didn't make it a habit. I volunteered, but sometimes when I did volunteer or if they did ask, not today.
How this coworker look? Cause
It's not about it's
yeah, it's not
no,
about looks. It's
no,
not
no,
okay.
seriously though. Guys, anyone like guys, whatever, kids, I don't turn down kids.
I write a special message on each lunch, and they don't need to
Listen,
see that.
listen,
That's personal.
listen. I read the message.
Okay.
They don't even get to that close like that.
Okay.
They don't get to that close because I put it on the plate.
Okay. So
But
you
they
do it
always
on the
know
plate.
that I always have extra because they know you pack the lunch and you
Uh-huh.
know you make a lot of food. So they already know. But when sometimes if it's just me, just enough, you know how you take leftovers?
Mm-hmm.
Those days I'd be like, not today.
Oh, so you have had to say no.
Not today. not
Have
to
you had to say
this,
no?
not today.
Not today, what?
Not today. I plead the fifth, but not today.
That's what you say when
Not
they
today.
ask for some?
Not today.
Hey, son, what you eating? Oh, I smell like you got this break room on fleek. What's that? Let me get a little bit of that.
And I say not today.
Not today.
Not today. And they
Oh,
understand because they know I always give it. So if
it's,
they always give it. Sometimes you don't even have to beg. Because sometimes God, the mama always say if they wanted you to have it, they'll give it to you. So don't beg. That's one thing I did have a difference with my coworkers. I'll tell them, don't beg nothing for me. Don't ask me for nothing.
Mm, mm.
Yeah, I be straightforward. I don't sugarcoat all that. I don't go to 5,000 people. I go straight to the person. Don't beg for me. You don't have to beg. If it's meant for you to have it, you go to get it. Just be patient, but don't beg for me.
Are you don't does that make the workplace toxic?
But they keep on begging.
That how many times you have to say not today? Because you got a little speech down. If you because no is
I
much shorter and quicker. So, but you said not today. Those are few words.
not today. Plain and simple respect. I don't say it mean. I don't say I like them up. Not today, too. Not today. With no type of reaction.
So
Not
those
today.
not today days.
Have a good day.
What I be serving?
It depends on how I'm feeling that day.
Oh,
If I'm
okay.
hungry, if I eat the night before, if I worked out that morning, I ate breakfast, worked out that morning. And by the time my snack time, nuts time is not today.
Mm. Well, they want to know what's our favorite way to shake off negative energy after a long day with draining coworkers. What we do when we have a bad day, I guess, or we trying
I
to
tell
shake
you,
off what's in the workplace.
I come home, I do homework with the kids.
Homework, still got to
Uh,
cook. We still,
yes, I do homework with my is I do homework with my kids. They take showers, get ready for dinner, and I wind down myself. And you know how I be? I go to my little cave and just I shut down.
yeah, that's normally for us it's like Tubi,
Yeah, shut
Tubi.
down.
Yeah,
No phones, no anything. I get
we
the
into
kids
baddies now, so we be
have some
try
champagne,
yeah,
some
just
wine,
kind of just
just real,
chill.
yes.
Yep, yep. So I don't know exactly what my favorite way. I mean, because as long as I'm away from it, then I think I'm better.
Mm.
Once I lock those doors, I'm better. Sometimes even like when you tell me all the time, it's like, oh my God, when the daycare is closed, you're different. You're
You are.
so yeah, because on my work days, I'm responsible for a whole lot. So I might be uptight or I might not be as, talkative because it's just me being focused. And I know that it's overwhelming sometimes, but that's how my life look. That's how my life look, and I'm glad you joined it. I'm glad you joined it because you know how to balance it, with me, and that's not the easiest, thing to do. Is balancing that with me after a
I
rough.
like going to work. I like working. I
Oh,
like working the daycare. I like working with kids. I like working with people. I like working outside.
yeah.
So me have to go outside work with others. I don't mind work with others. I like that. I had to learn the hard way. Working for almost 30 years. Of course, I learned a lot. After
Mhm.
working for 30 years, I'm a 30 years for working outside with the public because by this time I would have been out of my mind. I had to get structure for myself. It took a long time and it was hard for me to get structure to work with outside for so how long.
Mhm.
But by me like going to work is waking up in the morning time our day started what 4:30, 5 o'clock,
Yeah.
and
Every
our
day
day every day and our day in at what 10:30.
at night. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, and especially during this season, which is prom season.
It's all
So
sees one
I
o'clock
definitely
too.
got
Yeah,
to shout out to Keisha Kitchen. Y'all better go to Keisha Kitchen on 115, baby. Keisha on her business. Keisha keeping my marriage together because Miss Kim hadn't cut the stove on. I promise you, them lamb chops is everything. Go to Keisha's Kitchen. She gonna save your marriage. My wife don't like nobody cooking. If it's not mine or her sisters, she not eating it. But Keisha, baby, I be threatening at night. You want your Keishas? You want your Keishas? Yes, Keisha Kitchen on
the best.
115th and Halsted. If some like it, baby,
It's
it's to be loved.
it's good.
It's good.
Yeah.
Is it? So this
Cause
that's what
I don't eat regular restaurant food like that. I like
right.
soul food that I don't eat everybody cooking.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if you make it at home, if you make it anywhere. I'm real picky with my cooking, especially with soul food, sweet potato. So she know how to cook. She clean. Y'all know how I do when I be outside inspecting everywhere I go.
Oh, she is so clean. And
She's
that was the
real
first
clean,
thing
yeah.
you said.
And her food is very excellent. She's good. And she timely manner,
Mm.
and good customer service.
Good customer service, Keisha. We love you. You already know the almonds. Our picture need to be up. We eat it. We sending people to get our food. Cause while we working doing transportation, y'all please meet us at our next stop with some Keisha Kitchen. Cause we need it. And because in order for us to go through all that prom stuff and graduation stuff, we be needing us a good meal. So we get our food to go and we sit in the car while we waiting on the kids do their prom thing, and we have us a good whole meal and a whole dinner like they in there having a good dinner. We have our good dinner in the car. But again, let's talk about the coworker who acts like they run the whole job but can't run their own life. They've got opinions on everyone in the workplace during break time. But at home, things are a mess. You ever wonder why someone needs to control every detail at work? Have you ever ran into that person that they know that why do they come in the door thinking they the boss? Why do they come in the door thinking that they the boss? And I'm not going to say that I had that problem, but I can say that I was scared as a young entrepreneur opening the daycare doors at the age of 20 and having all of my staff being twice my age, more of mother figures than staff. You see what I'm saying? So it was very hard for me to not listen to what they say. Sometimes I had to let them take control because they were a little bit more experienced than I was. So when those parents came in and say, "Look, we want a child care provider that is currently a mother," I said, "I can't give you that. I'm not a mother, but I promise you, I will love and take care of your kids as if they were mine." And again, I was always told, run it your way. But sometimes I needed the coworker to come in and take control sometime because sometimes some other things was going on. And take control as if you were me. Because if I'm not here, I expect the same thing to transpire in the workplace. So again, I that was the only kind of control that I had to deal with in the workplace, and I kind of had to let it go because I was working with individuals that were a lot more experienced than I was in early childhood. And I had to respect their judgment, their opinions, their issues. I had to respect them no matter what because I had to respect my elders, you know? So I felt like, I had to listen to them sometimes, but it gets to be a lot. But because you always say, why they in here always saying something to us and they just got off speakerphone and their kids just cursed them out.
That's but we always see by me being an entrepreneur slash working a job. See, Maz is level because it's be it. I think I'm more nicer as an entrepreneur as the boss than me working at my job.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know. I guess by me just working there first, working at my job first, then being an entrepreneur, by me being like I said, overseer, they do, and we have to put them in a place. But sometimes it be cute,
Mm-hmm.
and it does. But when it be overboard, I do step in as an entrepreneur, also as a coworker, because I do tell people stop. Stop. I do,
Mm-hmm.
I be straightforward with people. Like
Mm-hmm.
you could accept it. I don't be rude, I'll be me, but I tell them like stop. Just stop it. Because at the end of the day, this not you.
It's just kill me when they house is on fire and they
Just
use work as an escape
just to to latch out.
and
To
they get in the door.
and latch
Bad
out.
attitude. They
Yes.
lashing out. They stomping, talking about
Yes.
what such and such
Everybody.
did that night
Everybody.
before and
Everybody.
all of that. How could you even bring that to the workplace?
Yes. They there.
But you never said what you stood up and did in that fight last night. But you came up in the workplace and started
Try
one.
to be controlling,
You came all the way in here, all the way in here,
controlling, and
all the way in here, and
every
you
day,
started. This is what you did
every day. I have
every day.
every day. Our experience every day, and once again, every day. But it tells that superior to say sometimes, have a meeting with them. Just be like, because when you start getting to the customers, even customers start seeing it,
Mm-hmm.
and you all got them everywhere. We got people want to be controlling everything, want to be the boss, and I understand, but just I know it take a team to run a business, to run a company, but like it's just a title, but it's not a title. Just respect. When you see me around, respect my authority. If I'm not here, it's different. If I'm not here, you could you can help support, help the team. Y'all, everyone's controlling when I'm not here. But once I'm here,
You right.
let me do my job.
Hmm. Because people, they try to lead at work because at home they invisible.
They
Don't
are
nobody care. Say what you want.
some, yeah,
Say what you want, Earl. Ain't nobody listening.
they are
That's
visible
what we do
at home.
at home. They not listening, but they go to work to keep up foolishness because they want to be heard.
Bring it from home.
Bringing it from home, and don't nobody care. Don't nobody want to hear because we just heard you get snapped on, cursed out on speakerphone. Stop putting it on speaker. If you know you up in here acting like you got your life in order. So no, no, it's too many of those. So I don't know how do you tell the difference between someone with high standards or somebody that's just trying to dominate the workspace. Some people, is it really for the job? Is it really for the job? Do they really care about their job? Do they go above and beyond, but they want to keep up mess?
See,
Like,
see, it's the difference between controlling and go beyond with a job. They combined it, but no, those are two different things. Controlling and going up beyond your job is two different things. Going up beyond your job when you volunteer,
mm-hmm,
when you extra, when you help people. When you say,
mm-hmm,
what Billy could do this, I can't do, but I'm gonna do it for Billy because Billy not here.
mm-hmm. Oh no, there ain't nobody gonna never say that. They gonna leave it there until that coworker comes back. And you have to set your mind. Your mindset got to be in a peaceful, godly place in order for your peace to stay in that toxic work environment sometimes, because sometimes people take their power way too far, or people take control way too far. And when I had to step away from the daycare, I already had the person that was next in charge. They knew already. But again, soon as I leave, the person in charge calling saying everybody ganged up on them. So again, it so everybody in charge. Just make sure everything is ran appropriately until I come back.
People need to know about authority anyway, though. That's why I
Mm-hmm.
thought about having meetings with your staff. Because enough is enough at the workplaces. You got to have a meeting because, come on now, if I'm not there, everyone know who the last person authority is. People know the tribe. They know a lot of authority at the end of the day. But they once again, people try people, and everyone don't have control at home, and they don't.
Mm-mm.
Unfortunately, they don't. So they do bring their situations and their problems at work. I've seen it, and it's to me, it's like wow. None of us say perfect. We do it. We all have done it. I have done
Mm-hmm.
it, but when I saw others do it, it's to the point like now, see that it changed me. But some people can see other people doing it, they get worse. But I love change, but it is out there real bad like that, controlling at a workplace.
And that's a shame that people have to go through that sometime in the workplace. And they wanted me to find out if I could say one sentence to the coworker who tried to control everything but couldn't control their own life. What would I say to a coworker like that? I would just sum it up to worry about yourself. because don't worry about what I'm doing in my cubicle. If I'm on Amazon all day, mind your business. I'm gonna get the work done. You know what I'm saying? So again, whatever I do, if I'm whatever I'm doing, people need to worry about themselves in the workplace and stop throwing people under the bus.
Yeah.
Especially if you don't throw, tell on yourself. But again, in the workplace, we go by this motto of monkey see, monkey do. If that person didn't do done yesterday, I'm coming in tomorrow, or I'm coming in for the next 3 weeks and I ain't doing nothing. So again, it's hard when you deal with a toxic person in the workplace. And I before I got over what I had to go through, it made me come back better and with a better example to the staff of how we deal with situations like that. They not responsible to feed anybody. They don't have to do that. So again, I tried to do it as much as I can and try to have our days where we feed the staff or we alternate on what we have, and we do it for each other. Everybody bring in something to contribute. It's not just one person continuously feeding, a whole staff. It's just not fair. So, we don't have those kind of problems now. So again, the only thing I can tell the person is to let that person know to worry about themselves, do what they need to do. And if it's any coworkers that is driving you nuts, do whatever it takes to protect your peace. Because again, the workplace is exactly that. The workplace. Don't let everybody bring what's going on at their address there to pour into you. Some people don't even need to see that negative. I tell some all the time, some, please stop talking to that coworker. Please stop talking to that coworker. We'll need those kind of problems, that people want advice. They want, then when their advice don't work, they come to work snapping off. Nobody wants to deal with that. So everybody just stay in their own lane, mind their own business with coworkers, and everything will work out. Everybody has rules. Nobody has one set rule for just one coworker. So again, when you are promoted, take full advantage. But until then, do not be that toxic worker in the workplace. We enjoyed this conversation. It was therapeutic to me. I was able to get that out about my sandwich. So again, I appreciate everyone listening to Crazy Conversations with Miss Kim on IntellectualRadio.com. Good night, friends. Stay tuned. Simeon show is up next.
Yeah.
Good night.